Okay, guys, so be careful with all the forms you can use with all. So do you have any questions with this?
I have a question.
Okay.
In the difference between it all and at all.
Okay. At all means en absoluto. O sea, no tiene nada que ver con todo.
No. Okay.
No,
Okay.
at all es en absoluto. So I don't love you at all. I don't love you at all. Y generalmente
Okay.
at all, ahí sí, at all, no puede ir en el sujeto. Ese sí de plano no puede. Siempre tiene que ir en el exactamente, va en el
Es
complemento.
como el it all.
Ajá, pero
No puede ir en sujeto, solamente en complemento, ¿no?
it all sí puede ir en dos lados. Puede ir en aquí, en el sujeto, o acá, en el complemento. I know it all, por ejemplo, ¿no? Si dicen I know it all, ¿qué estás diciendo ahí? Jorge, si yo digo I know it all.
Sería como lo sé todo. I know
Exactamente.
it all.
I know it all. Así es. Entonces, tienes ahí el it all, ahí en el complemento en este caso, ¿no? Y no. Ahora. Ok, muy bien. Victor, do you have any more questions?
No.
No? Okay. Jose, what about you? Do you have any more questions?
No, thanks.
No? Okay, Jorge? No?
No, it's very clear. Thank you,
Okay,
teacher.
finally, the whole. I'm pretty sure you have heard this phrase. The whole world. Todo el mundo, ¿no? So you have these words, the whole or the entire.
Sería como el mundo entero, ¿no?
Ajá, el mundo entero o todo el mundo. The entire world, the whole world. So those ones are adjectives. So which means that the only way possible in which you can use them is before a noun. So you always need to have a noun here. So of course you have many forms. You can say all my life. You can say all my life. Or you can say my whole life. Or my entire life. It's exactly the same. So you can say all countries. Ya explicamos la diferencia, ¿no? All countries o all the countries. Entonces, all countries, todos los países. Now, but you need to be careful because now that I remember, whole only works with singular. So, for example, all countries serían todos los países. Cuando aquí tienen el singular, all my life, por eso aquí se puede ocupar, ¿no? All my life, my whole life. But when you're using a plural with all, you cannot say this one. You cannot say the whole countries. The whole countries doesn't exist. You only need to have the whole country, but it's in singular. So be careful because whole or entire can only be used with singular. If you want to talk about plurals, try to use all countries, the whole country. Or for example, if you want to say something like all students, not all students, not all.
I have a question, teacher.
Yeah, tell me.
There is a difference between constables or not constables, I think.
Yeah, what's the difference?
No. In this case, for the whole, there is a difference or some rules between constables or not constables.
No, doesn't have to do with countable or not countable, just with plural and singular.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can use a noun, an uncountable noun or a countable noun, but as long as it is singular. O sea, puedes usar contable o incontable, pero mientras sea singular. Entonces, okay, yep. So be careful with that one. The whole entire world. And finally, that's it. Okay. So you have not many, but you have some forms of using all o todo, decir todo en inglés. So, okay, now we can go on with the subject. So, okay. Okay, so, and it all stuck to the bottom. Todo, ahí lo están ocupando, miren, it all stuck to the bottom. Todo se pegó en el fondo del sartén y se quemó, ¿no? It didn't taste good, fry freaked. Okay, I poured. So what's the meaning of this word? I put the curry into another pan. What's that phrase, Victor?
I don't know what is the word.
Word. It's like taking some glass of water or some glass of some liquid and verterlo. Eso es poured.
Es como servirlo, ¿no?
Servir agua. Ajá. Poured es servir agua o algún líquido, no solo agua, algún líquido.
¿Lo puso en otro sartén?
Exactly. Exactly. So, poured can be para servirme algo, ¿no? Poured me a glass of wine, for example. Sírveme, ¿no? Sírveme una copa de vino. Poured me. And I poured the juice into the jar. Entonces, si dicen esto, I poured, y luego ponen algo, el jugo, yo vertí el jugo en la jarra. Into, tienen que usar into. I poured the juice into the jar. Pues eso, vertí el jugo, o sea, agarré la jarra de jugo, bueno, agarré el jugo y lo vertí en la jarra. Eso es poured.
Ah, es
Ok.
que no se ve lo demás porque está muy para allá.
Ok, ahí se ve.
No. Ah, ya se ve mejor.
Ajá, entonces I poured the juice into the jar. It's pouring. Pour can also be used to say that it's raining too much. They say this one. It's pouring with rain. It's pouring with rain. Está lloviendo un montón. La lluvia está muy fuerte. So it's pouring. Okay. So, and added some chili peppers. Then I hid the burnt pan under the sink. That's hilarious. Okay. So, under the sink, what is the sink? Jorge, what is the sink?
Tal vez sea como debajo del fregadero.
Ajá, del fregadero. Bueno, un fregadero es donde lavan los trastes, ¿no?
Ajá, es que es como como es una cocina, es fregadero, porque si fuera el baño sería un lavabo, ¿no?
Lavabo, sí, cierto. Bueno, under the sink, exactly. Okay, I bet, apuesto a que, I bet no one even noticed. Apuesto a que nadie ni siquiera se dio cuenta. I bet es eso, apuesto. Esta frase, I wouldn't bet algo on it. Yo no lo apostaría, ¿no? Yo no lo apostaría si fuera tú. Yo no lo daría por hecho. Eso es bet. Cuando ustedes vean I wouldn't bet algo on it, yo no apostaría eso, ¿no? Yo no me iría por esa opción si fuera tú. Entonces, a ver, de hecho, a ver si sale aquí la frase. Pongan bet en el diccionario. Bet, apuesta, jugada. Sí, pero es apostar en contra. Bottom, I'll bet. I wouldn't bet. Yo no estaría tan seguro, exactamente, esa es la frase. I wouldn't bet on it. A veces le ponen después de bet, I wouldn't bet my house on it. Ujú. Dice, ajá, that's very unlikely. Yo no estaría tan seguro, ¿no? O simplemente digan esto, I wouldn't bet on it. Yo no estaría tan claro, no lo haría si fuera tú, no estaría tan seguro. Okay, so that's another word with bet. Okay, so yeah. Olivia reacts to Hugo's story. She makes brief comments on the things he says to show he's listening and interested. Find examples in the conversation. Okay, yeah, that's important even in Spanish. When you're talking to someone, you need to let that someone know that you are interested in the conversation. How do you do that? Well, using those phrases. Oh, really? Remember, oh no. Oh, really? I bet, me imagino. I bet es como ahí, me imagino, ¿no? Oh, yeah, I bet. Oh, really? Those kind of phrases. Ah, sure. Are you serious? O sea, si se están diciendo algo increíble o que les parece increíble, are you serious? ¿Es en serio? Are you serious? ¿Sale? Esa clase de frases que son importantes cuando están hablando con alguien, porque si alguien está hablando, o sea, están teniendo una conversación con alguien y esa persona solo habla y ustedes nada más como que lo ven así, ¿no? Así como, y no dicen nada.
Van a
Eso,
pensar que lo están ignorando, ¿no?
ajá. Están empezando, la persona va a pensar que, ¿cómo se llama? Que pues que no te interesa, ¿no? En algún momento se va a dar cuenta de que no te interesa. Y luego eso pasa mucho porque no sabemos qué decir, ¿no? En inglés, por ejemplo. Entonces, oh, really? Oh, I see. Okay. Okay. I use okay all the time. Okay. All right. I see. Okay. Because when you do that, you're making the other person know that you are paying attention to what they are saying. Okay, so be careful with that. And okay, read the story below in the comments on the right. For each part of the story, choose a compliment. Practice telling the story and commenting with a partner. Okay, I get it. So we need to use some of those phrases to complete the sentences, right? So in the first one, I was working as a server at Pierce last year. Oh, Pierce is nice, I heard. Okay, so in number two, Jose, number two, how would you complete number two?
Um, yeah. Yeah, it's very fancy with cool art and everything. Expensive, huh?
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So, and everything expensive, huh? So letter D is here. Okay. So Jorge, number three.
Okay. Well, it's not cheap. Anyway, I was serving coffee to this guy and spilled it all over his suit. Uh, so, well, that's was lucky.
That was lucky. No, not exactly. No. Okay. So,
You're kidding on the opener?
you're kidding the owner. No. In that case is, oh no, I bet he was upset. Ah, oh no, apuesto a que estaba enojado.
Okay.
Si te riegan
Okay.
café, posiblemente si te enojes, ¿no? I spill it over his suit. Entonces, okay, A, in that case, A. Okay, so Victor, number four.
I use letter B.
Okay, letter B. Well, that was lucky.
Yeah, for
Or wait, I thought it was Pierre himself.
Okay, so they are telling a story, right? So he spilled coffee all over his suit, and then he says, yeah, but wait, I found out it was Pierre himself. Pierre is the name of the restaurant. So that means that he spilled the coffee over Pierre himself. I mean, if the restaurant is Pierre's, that's the name. I serve at Pierre's, right? That's the name
Okay,
of the restaurant.
they're kidding the owner.
Exactly, you're kidding the owner. Entonces le regó café al jefe, ¿no? Al dueño. Okay, yeah, so finally, Jose.
Yeah, and he was pretty mad, but he didn't fire me. Well, that was lucky.
Exactly.
The
Yeah,
letter B.
I was lucky. Okay, yeah, sure. Okay, so that's an important word, upset. Try not to use angry all the time. I'm angry. Because angry means estás furioso, o sea, iracundo. I'm angry. Entonces, upset es como estar enojado, ¿no? I was upset. So, yeah. Okay, so that's it. And what do we have next one? What is this one? You can start a statement, but I bet when you're pretty sure about something. Okay, I bet no one noticed. Apuesto a que. I bet is the same as saying apuesto que. Or it says here, you can also use I bet as a response to show you understand the situation. So I freaked, oh, I bet, me imagino. So I bet es como apuesto a que. I bet you were nervous. I bet you were nervous. Apuesto a que estabas nervioso, ¿eh? Oh, yeah, and I was freaking out. Yeah, I bet. Me imagino. So no digan I imagine, ¿no? O sea, I bet es lo equivalente en español a decir, me imagino, I bet. So that's a good phrase to use in a conversation with someone. So, okay, it says here, read the stories and guess the responses. Then listen and write the responses you hear. Practice with a partner. Okay, so we're going to listen to some stories, and you need to complete the response. I mean, someone is going to say, a friend of mine was staying in a hotel with one time, blah, blah, blah. And you need to just pay attention to the response to that story. So letter B, be careful with letter B. You need to complete letter B based on what you heard in the audio. Okay, so here we go. Okay, but before we continue, do you know all the words in these stories? All of them?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so here we go.
Page 91. 2. Strategy Plus. I bet. Read the stories and guess the responses. Then listen and write the responses you hear. Practice with a partner. 1.
A friend of mine was staying at a hotel one time, and she was walking back to her room in the dark, and she fell in the pool. Everyone at the pool cafe saw her.
Oh no! I bet she was embarrassed. 2.
One time I fell asleep on the subway, and when I woke up, the train was at the end of the line. It took an hour to get back to my stop.
Oh, I bet you weren't too happy with yourself.
3.
I was on vacation in London with my parents a few years ago, and we were flying home. Anyway, we got to the airport, and I realized my passport was still in the hotel safe.
Oh no! I bet you freaked.
Okay. So, what do you have? What did you catch, Victor, in number 1?
Letter A, I bet she was embarrassed.
Exactly. She was embarrassed. So what is embarrassed, by the way?
Avergonzada.
Okay. Yeah, perfect. So Jose, number 2.
Well, I got I bet you weren't happy.
Okay, exactly. You weren't too happy with yourself.
Okay, yeah.
You weren't too happy with yourself. Okay, yeah, perfect. And finally, Jorge, letter B in number 3.
Oh no, I bet angry.
It's I bet you freaked.
You freaked.
Freaked. Like this one, right? Freaked. Es como te pusiste loco, ¿no? I was freaking out. By the way, you can use without. Freak out es como salirte de tus casillas, no sé cómo decirlo, como ponerte loco. Entonces, freak es muchas cosas. Freak puede ser, así como sustantivo, freak es un bicho raro, un freaky. So, informal and pejorative, person in appearance, a freak, you're a freak. You look like a freak. Como sustantivo es eso, pero freak como verbo es entrar en pánico. You freaked. Es slang, by the way. So slang means it's informal. Show terror. So I was freaking, man. I was freaking. Estaba yo aterrorizado. Estaba yo en pánico, ¿no? O I freaked. Enloquecer. So that's freaked. So in that case, I bet you freaked. Es okay. Imagino que entraste en pánico. Okay, so, yep, listening strategies, a funny story. Okay, so listen to the story, choose the best response. Each time you hear a pause, check A or B. Okay, so we are going to listen to some stories and they are going to make a pause. Okay, so whenever they make the pause, you need to guess which answer is more suitable for that comment. Okay, ¿cuál es más, qué frase es mejor para cada historia que les están contando? Okay, so that if what they are saying is awful, you know, like my dog died last night, well, that's awful. So you wouldn't say, oh, I bet, you know, me imagino. Imagínate que le digan eso, ¿no? Le están contando algo trágico y digan, me imagino. Si es algo trágico, pues that's awful, ¿no? O si es algo muy feo. Entonces tienen que elegir, I bet, nice, it's easy to do, that's good, I bet, thank goodness, I bet he was pretty upset, good, based on what you heard. Okay, so here we go.
Page 91. 3. Listening and strategies. A funny story. A and B. Listen to the story.
Did I tell you my cell phone story?
No. What happened?
Well, my husband and I have the same cell phones, and sometimes we get them mixed up. Like he answers mine and I pick up his to make a call. It's confusing.
Okay. So, Jorge, in that story, would you use that's awful? Or I bet? Oh, I bet.
That's awful.
That's awful. Yeah. It's a tragic story.
No.
No, it's not a tragic story. So you could use.
Oh, I bet, no.
Oh, I bet. So she's saying that she answers or she picks up her husband's calls. Well, I would say that's awful. But yeah, it's fine. It's confusing, you know. And oh, I bet. Oh, me imagino, ¿no? Entonces, bueno, ahí le dice que, we have the same cell phones. And sometimes we get mixed up. Okay, we have the same cell phone, so they have exactly the same cell phone. So they get confused sometimes. Okay, all right. So, okay, let's continue.
So, yeah, last Saturday, we made last-minute plans to have dinner together at this little Spanish restaurant. We go there occasionally. It has a really cool atmosphere, and they play live music and everything.
Okay. So, Victor Soto, in which one?
Nice. Yeah.
Nice. Exactamente. Okay.
So, anyway, I went to run some errands before dinner, and we agreed to meet at 7. And when I was leaving the house, I picked up my phone from the table and threw it in my purse. So, yeah, I was doing my shopping and everything, and I didn't realize the time and how late it was.
Okay. So, Jose, and that one.
Very difficult. Maybe it's easy to do.
It's easy to do. Okay, that's weird. Es fácil de hacer. Oh, está bien. Sounds weird, right? It's easy to do, and that's good. I don't understand the two options. I wouldn't say that's good.
I guess talking about this is to do this the same mistake.
Okay, perhaps you was doing the shopping and everything. They realized how late it was. Okay, it's easy to do. Ajá, okay. Es como es fácil, ¿no? Cometer ese error. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and it was like 10 after 7, and I thought, why didn't my husband call me? Like, to remind me. So, I called him, and I heard this phone ringing in my purse, and I'm thinking, what's that?
Okay, so in that one, Jorge, which one would you use?
I bet Has was pretty upset.
Okay, I bet. You could only say I bet. Me imagino, ¿no? Okay. No dirías thank goodness. Is that okay? But I bet.
And it was my husband's phone. I guess I picked it up by mistake when I left the house, and I had both phones with me.
So what did you do?
I just went to the restaurant, and my husband was sitting there waiting. I was like half an hour late.
Okay, so Victor, what is the answer in that one?
I bet he was pretty upset.
Exactly. Okay. All right. Yep. So do we have more?
Actually, he was okay about it. He was listening to the band and eating some appetizers, so he didn't mind. He just
Ahí está lo que les decía, no, he didn't mind. No le importó.
No importa.
couldn't believe I had his phone again.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I don't mind.
He didn't mind. No le importó, ¿no? No le causó molestia.
What is the difference between I don't care and I don't mind?
Okay. I don't care es no me interesa, no me importa. Es cuando le quiere decir a alguien, I don't care about.
¿Es la
what you said.
indiferencia?
Ajá, eso me es indiferente, no me interesa, no me causa ningún interés.
Okay.
Y I don't mind es no me importa en el sentido de que no me causa molestia. No me importa. I don't mind talking to you. No me molesta hablar contigo, ¿no? Solo que nada más acuérdense que I don't mind va con ing, ¿no? So I don't mind talking, I don't mind waiting, I don't mind eating that. No tengo problemas con comer, no tengo problemas con esperar. That's the difference. Yeah. So, okay, guys. So, next class we are going to continue with this next lesson. but we are going to do something different next class. Okay, so we are going to try to identify some things we have been talking about, but we are going to listen to them on English and see what happens. Okay, so we are going to work with phonetics again. Remember, not only grammar. If you study a lot of grammar, you will be able to pass a test, but nothing less, nothing more than that. If
Okay.
you, so remember, you need to
Okay,
learn.
teacher. Thank
Okay,
you.
so see you. Take care. Bye.
See
See you,
ya,
teacher.
teacher.
Thank you.
Bye.
Again,
So let's see what happens. Share
we
sound.
started.
Jose's coming. Who's coming now? Jorge's coming. Jorge's here. Jose's here. Okay. Hey, Jose, good morning.
Good morning, teacher.
How you doing?
Doing fine.
Okay. All right.
How about you?
I'm doing, great. But
Oh.
yeah, I was telling Jorge that I quit my job. I quit my job yesterday.
Mhm.
It was too much, so well, I'm here, so it's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we can start now with this one. Check what are we doing? Contents. What we're doing. Things happen. When things go wrong, accidents happen. Okay, sure. We were doing himself. Okay, yeah. Conversations. Okay, strategy. Reacting to story. That's hilarious. Okay, so that's the lesson we have to do today. So, but before we continue, or before we start, I would like to ask you something. Okay. My question to you, Jorge. Okay. How would you describe your sense of humor? How would you describe the things you laugh at? Laugh at, de las que te ríes, las cosas de las que te ríes. The things, it's like this, the things you laugh at. So that means your sense of humor. So, Jorge, how would you describe your sense of humor? Dark, soft? What do you think?
A little bit dull.
A little bit old. Okay.
That,
Okay.
dark and soft, and whatever else. It's very funny.
Okay. I get it. Okay. So I'm asking you this because do you watch memes? I suppose you do, right?
Right.
Okay. And my question is, do you watch memes in English?
No, I never watch in English, but I would like it.
Yeah, it's if you want to learn vocabulary, the best way to do it is watching memes in English because they are short phrases, short phrases that have a context. So yeah, memes, it's like a good way, but that depends on your sense of humor, right? So a good meme for you is that depends on your sense of humor. So okay, all right.
Okay.
Jose, so what about you? What can you tell me about your sense of humor?
Yeah, I like sarcasm, and yeah, maybe a bit dark.
Bit dark. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So do you watch memes in English?
Yep. Like what do you say? People suffering or something like that.
Yeah. So dank memes. That there's a name for that kind of memes. Just dank.
Okay.
Have you ever seen that
Thank you.
word? Dank memes. Dank meme. Dank meme means a meme too hard, too dark. No, that's dank meme.
Okay.
So, okay, you can look out those ones if you like dark comedy, dank meme. They're they're funny. So, okay. So what's the difference, by the way, Jorge, between saying that's funny and that's fun? Is the same?
I think it's not the same because fun is when is um how did you say that?
For
Fun
example,
is when I don't know how to describe that?
which word?
Mm, mm, mm. When you occurs some very funny and fun is when you're for example visit one place and you're fun, no?
Okay, kind of. Yeah. That's fun. If you say that's fun, es divertido, ¿no? That's fun.
Es como divertirse, ¿no?
Ándale, es divertido. Si dices, it's fun, es divertido, ¿no? It's fun.
Ajá.
Algo, ¿no?
Pero cuando es that's funny es algo como algo gracioso, ¿no?
Algo gracioso, que causa gracia, ¿no?
Ajá, que causa gracia. Algo que ocurrió que causa mucha gracia.
Ujú. Entonces, si le quieren decir a alguien, eres divertido, le da you're fun. You're fun. Pero si
Ajá,
dices you're funny, eres chistoso, ¿no? You're funny. Y estás
ajá.
diciendo, estás implicando que hace chistes y que pues, es chistoso, ¿no? Pues you're funny.
O que está medio chistoso, ¿no? De tipo
Ah,
la tipa.
sí, sí. O sea, puede significar así como, chistoso, you're funny. So it's not a good word to use with someone. Funny. Fun, yeah. But okay, so whatever. It says here, reacting to the story, look at some words from a funny history. From a funny story, I'm sorry. From a funny story, can you guess what happened? Okay. Look at some words from a funny story. So you have curry, phone, burnt pan, hide, hilarious. So what is curry? Jose?
Sorry, it's like how do you say? Como en Spanish, con una especia. O,
Ujú. Es como una especie de chile, ¿no? Curry.
ajá.
Entonces, curry, sí, spice, condimento de la India.
Ok. Ajá,
Ujú.
spice.
That's it. Okay, so well, a phone is quite obvious. Burnt pan. So Jorge, what is burnt pan? Pan quemado no es.
Es como, no, es como sartén quemado, ¿no?
Exactly. Yeah. It's a burnt pan. Okay, perfect. But hide means esconderse, ¿no? En hilarious, pues es hilarante. Muy chistoso. Hilarious es como decir muy chistoso. Nosotros no ocupamos hilarante, ¿no? Eso es hilarante. Pero hilarious es como muy chistoso. Okay, so it says here, listen, what happened to Hugo? How did he solve the problem? Okay, so we're going to have a listen to it and we're going to practice something. So, okay, where it is, it's right here.
Page 90. Lesson C. That's hilarious. 1. Conversation strategy. Reacting to a story. B. Listen. What happened to Hugo? How did he solve his problem?
I was at my friend's house one time. We were making Thai curry for a bunch of people,
Oh, I love Thai food.
and he left me in the kitchen to watch the curry. Well, my phone rang and I got talking,
Uh-oh.
and it all stuck to the bottom of the pan and burned.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it didn't taste too good. I freaked.
I bet.
So I poured the curry into another pan and added some chili peppers. Then I hid the burnt pan under the sink.
Oh, that's hilarious. I bet no one even noticed.
I don't know. No one said anything, but they drank a lot of water.
Okay. Sure. So, Victor Soto, good morning. How you doing?
Morning, teacher. And you?
I'm doing fine, thanks. Okay. So, let's see the phrases, the important phrases of here. Yeah, for a bunch of, so what is for a bunch of, Victor, for a bunch of people?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Jorge, what do you think? What is a bunch of people or a bunch of something? Jorge, are you there?
Ya, que es como un montón de gente.
Exactly. Yeah. A bunch of. Okay. For a bunch of. Okay. But remember, bunch of is informal. So you wouldn't use bunch in a formal environment. Never.
De hecho, de ahí se deriva la palabra que decimos mucho en México, de, es un boncho, ¿no?
Es un bonche, ándale. Es un bonche de algo. Tengo un bonche de chetos. Es a bunch of. Un grupo. Pero te digo, es informal. Ujú. O sea, si están hablando con alguien, a group of. A group of. A group of people, a group of a group of students, because bunch of is pejorative. Ujú. Es como una bola de. O sea, se lo ocupan como con personas, a veces puede sonar así como una bola de. So, okay, left in my kitchen to watch the curry while my phone rang and I got talking. I got talking. Okay, so what is that phrase, Jose? I got talking.
Mm, ¿Contesté? ¿O?
Mhm. Okay, I got talking. Me puse a.
Mm,
O sea, me puse a hablar. So he's implying that he was talking on the phone too much without paying attention to anything else. So yeah, I got talking. So me puse a, ¿no? And you can use that phrase, I got cooking. Me puse a cocinar. I got taking care of my son. Algo así, ¿no? Me puse a hacer algo. I got. Okay. So, and it all stuck to the bottom of the pan and burned. Okay, and it all. You have to be quite careful with all the forms of writing all because you have some of them. So now the question here is what's the difference between everything, between all, between all of the, between the whole, or it all, for example. So all of them, everything means todo, all, todo, todos los, todo, it all, todo. So you have 5 forms of using todo en español, bueno, en inglés. So you gotta be careful with those words. So that's interesting. So remember, whenever you just use todo, the word alone, todo, it's everything. Or for example, everything is possible. If you say everything is possible, nada más está diciendo todo es posible. No dirías all is possible, sino everything is possible. Because in that case, you're using everything as a subject. So in Spanish, when you just have todo, and then you have a verb, todo puede pasar, todo ocurrió muy rápido, todo está saliendo bien, todo es posible. In all those phrases, you're using todo as a subject of the sentence. So whenever you have that, choose everything. Everything is possible, everything went wrong. I know everything, o lo sé todo, ¿no? I know everything. She knows everything. So everything is just todo. Now, all. All, it's more complicated because whenever you have todos los, okay, we're going to use the blackboard for this one, so because I cannot. Okay.
O todo el tiempo, ¿no?
Exactly. Yeah, but you have todo el. Ujú. Ese es el punto para identificar a all. Pero bueno,
Cuando se
tienen...
involucra un artículo, ¿no? Supongo.
Exactamente. Perfectamente bien dicho. Así es. Cuando se involucra un artículo, pero hay que tener cuidado porque tienes dos variantes. Puedes tener all de y puedes tener simplemente all. Entonces, ¿cuándo usar all the students y cuándo decir simplemente all students? ¿Sí se ve el pizarrón, por cierto?
Ujú,
Sí, se
sí.
ve bastante bien.
Vale. Entonces, so you're going to use all the, and then something when you add a phrase. So be careful. If you say all the students, for you to use the students, you need to have a phrase right here. A phrase like all the students in my classroom or in my class, all the students who failed the test, all the students involved in the accident, let's say. So when you add a phrase, all the students in my class, all the students who failed the test, all the students involved in the accident, estás diciendo unos estudiantes en particular. ¿Se acuerdan de ese tema del da? No me acuerdo si lo hemos visto. Pero por eso le ponen that all the students in my class. So when you just want to say all the students will be failed, bueno, quiere decir todos los estudiantes tienen que pagar. Todos en general. Cuando dicen todos en general y no tienen ninguna frase, simplemente tienen todos los estudiantes o all students.
O también muchas veces lo ocupan el all them, ¿no?
Ah, bueno, ese es otro. Pero ese va, este es cuando lo ponen como activo. Acuérdense, estas dos frases normalmente son el activo de la idea, es decir, el sujeto. El sujeto. Entonces, all students es cuando no tienen ninguna frase, nada más dicen all students must pay. Por ejemplo, all the students must pay. Todos los estudiantes tienen que pagar. Estás hablando en general, no tienes nada como all the students who failed the test, ni tampoco tienes all the students involved in the accident. Nada más dices todos los estudiantes en general, todos, all students. ¿Sí está claro más o menos a qué me refiero? Okay. Yep. Okay, so you use all in that case. Now, you also have the following. All of. All of is when you want to say todos ustedes, all of you. Todos nosotros. ¿Cómo dices todos nosotros, Víctor Soto?
Ay. All of us.
All of us, exactly. So, Jose, how do you say todos ellos?
All of them.
All of them. All of them. Exactly. And you can use this phrase either in the subject or in the complement. So remember, all the phrases have a subject. What else, Jorge? A subject plus what? All the affirmative sentences.
Of auxiliary verb.
Exactly. Yeah,
Sí.
an auxiliary verb. Plus what else, Jorge?
A verb.
A verb. Okay.
And a complement.
Exactly. Complement. So, following this structure, remember, this structure is for affirmative sentences. Affirmative sentences. So, for example, you can say, how would you say, José, todos ustedes serán despedidos? How would you say that?
All of you will be fired.
Exactly. All of you will be fired. All of you is the subject, will is the auxiliary verb. All of you will, verb be, and complement fired. So in this case, you're using all of you as the subject of the sentence. All of you will be fired. Okay, so, Víctor, ¿cómo dirías? Los conozco a todos esos o a todos ellos.
I know all of them.
I know all of them. Exactly. So in that case, you're using it as a subject. So in this case, I know all of them. I know all of them. Los conozco a todos, ¿no? Ahora, aquí se preguntarán, bueno, ¿y dónde está el auxiliar, no? Si usted nos dijo que todas las ideas tienen un auxiliar, bueno, hay que tener en cuenta que ciertos auxiliares se omiten, están ahí y hay que saber cuáles estás usando. Entonces, en este caso, el sujeto es I, el verbo es know y el complemento es all of them. So my point is, Victor, which auxiliary verb are you using in this phrase?
I understand. Sorry, what?
Yeah, so in that phrase, all of the sentences in English, sorry, have an auxiliary verb, all of them. So in this
Okay.
one, will is the auxiliary verb, right? Will. But in that one, I know all of them. What is the auxiliary verb you're using?
I don't know. It's implicit.
Yeah, it's implicit, but you're using one specifically.
I'm not sure.
Okay. Okay, so in that case, you're using do. You're using do, but it's omitted. Okay, so you gotta be careful. It's there. Do is the auxiliary verb, but it's omitted, like we said. So for you to have a clear idea of which auxiliary verb you're using,
Yeah.
I'm gonna show you.
Because the negative form is I don't know.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. I get it.
Yeah, I don't know them all, ¿no? O I don't know all of them. Entonces sí, hay que saber siempre, aunque no aparezca el auxiliar, siempre hay que estar pendiente de cuál estás ocupando. Porque cuando tú quieras hacer, como dice ahorita Víctor, quieres hacer la forma negativa, pues tienes que saber cuál es el que estás usando. Por eso les digo que todas las ideas, aunque no aparezcan el auxiliar, hay uno ahí, ¿no? So, for example, if I say, okay, all of you, all of you worked a lot this week. Okay, all of you worked a lot this week. So, Jose, what is the subject in this sentence?
All of you.
All of you. Exactly, that's the subject. Vamos a poner el sujeto. Acuérdense que, bueno, usar simbología es un poco más fácil, ¿no? Que usar letras. Denles un símbolo para que ustedes puedan identificarlo. Yo lo que hago, bueno, en la otra escuela que funciona bastante bien, es denle símbolos. Lo poníamos así, ¿no? O lo ponemos así en la otra escuela. Si pones esto es el subject, esto es el auxiliar, esto es la acción, esto es el complemento. ¿Vale? Eso les va a ayudar como a identificar así los elementos de la idea. Obviamente, pues si no les gusta estos símbolos, pueden usar un color si quieren, ¿no? La clase de simbología que quieran, pero, pero usen algo, ¿no? Algunos símbolos. Entonces, so all of you, exactly, is the subject. So, Jose, what is the auxiliary verb in this sentence?
The same, do?
Do? No, not exactly.
No?
In this case, you're using did.
Okay, yeah, in past, yeah, okay.
You're using did. So what is the verb?
Work.
Worked.
Exactly. Work is the verb. Vamos a poner aquí esto. Ay, no, this is el verbo. ¿Sí? This is the auxiliary verb, but it's omitted. Y a lot this week is a complement. All the affirmative sentences have this structure. Again, you need to be careful Because how would you say that sentence, Jorge? The same sentence, but in negative. Todos ustedes no trabajaron mucho esta semana.
All of you didn't work a lot this week.
Exactly. Exactly. Didn't work a lot this week. But it sounds weird when you use, by the way, when you use it in a negative sentence, when you're using these things, you say none of you. Ninguno de ustedes, ¿no? Eso es una buena notación. Si van a hacer esta clase de ideas que estamos haciendo, pero ahora van a decir nada en negativo, bueno, tiene que, none of you worked. No, no es cierto. ¿Qué estoy diciéndoles? No, eso está mal. All of you didn't
Sería
work.
nobody, ¿no?
No, porque no puede haber didn't. O sea, no puede existir una palabra como none y luego didn't. Ujú.
Ajá, pero si usas, por ejemplo, none o nobody, didn't no iría. Porque
No,
es
ajá.
como hacer una ambigüedad, ¿no?
Es una doble negación. O
Ajá.
sea, una doble negación. En inglés no existen las dobles negaciones. O sea, no puedo decir nadie, no sé,
Bueno, es
nadie
como
no sabe, ¿no?
nadie nunca dijo nada.
Nadie nunca dijo nada. Eso está bien en español, ¿no?
Ujú.
Nadie nunca dijo nada, pero en inglés no podrías decir eso, ¿no? Tendrías que decir nobody said anything. Nobody said anything. Ujú. Bueno, el punto es que no. Es all of you didn't work. Todos ustedes no trabajaron. ¿No? So my point is that one. Be careful with the auxiliary verb. Okay. So in with these phrases, all of you, all of us, all of them. And okay, and finally, you can have phrases like I want it all. Ujú. Lo sé todo. Lo sé todo. How would you say that phrase, Jorge?
I know everything.
Exactly. Yeah. I know everything. Now, you can say that when I know everything. That's perfectly fine. Mm. Or you can also have this other form. I know it all. Pero únicamente pueden sustituir everything por it all cuando se encuentre en el complemento, no en el activo. Ujú. Si se dan cuenta, I know it all, o I know everything. Bueno, ahí estás ocupando el activo que es I, el auxiliar que es do, pero está omitido, know, que es el verbo, y it all en este caso es el complemento. It all solo puede ir al final, no pueden decir it all,
No puede ser sujeto, ¿no?
normalmente
Solo
no,
puede ser complemento.
así es. Gramaticalmente hablando, tendría que ser complemento nada más. Ujú. Alguna gente dice esto. Entonces, es importante hacer la distinción. Van a escuchar esto. Ujú, y no me dijo que no se podía. Pues no se puede gramaticalmente, pero a la gente, recuerden esa cosa, a la gente luego no le importa la gramática, ¿no? Entonces, a veces la gente dice eso, it all came back to me. It all is the subject. Came, bueno, ahí estás ocupando did, come es el verbo, y back to me es el complemento. Entonces, lo pueden usar, ¿no? Pero acuérdense que no en exámenes, no en exámenes donde estén testeando esto, ¿no? Entonces, it all came back to me. Está perfectamente bien decirlo así en una conversación donde no los estén testeando. Ujú. Entonces, resumiendo, everything y it all se pueden usar así, igual, ujú, en conversaciones informales. Si ya se pone la cosa formal, escojan everything, ¿no? O sea, si por formar me refiero que ya estén en un examen. ¿Sale? So be careful. I know fucking all. Yeah, you could say that one. I know fucking all. Yeah, that's possible too. Okay, I'm gonna close the session and open it again. So please don't go.